Time to do what must be done. I did it.
Hey, Bud Knight, aren't you gonna fight with us?
Oh, a buddy of mine is having this 30th birthday thing.
Oh, yeah, well, that's understandable.
Hey, if you survive, come by.
Probably won't happen, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Watch this.
Wow, somebody likes attention.
Here's to the friends you can always count on.
Day-o, day-o.
Wake up early.
Slap on some cologne.
I'm 85 and I wanna go home.
Just got a job as a lifeguard in Savannah.
I'm 85 and I wanna go home. Dropping sick beats, they call me DJ Nana. 85 and I wanna go.
Don't get mad. Get E-Trade, kiddo.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
What the hell is he doing?
I find it best not to look.
After the game, a historic episode of This Is Us. Set your DVR for extra time. The game could run long, and you don't want to miss a minute. This Is Us, tonight on NBC.
The Eagle D, they're the first team since the 2002 Buccaneers to reach the Super Bowl after allowing fewer than 10 points per game in the playoffs. Those were the 2002 Buccaneers, coached by John Gruden, who went to Tampa Bay that year and turned around and beat his old team, Oakland, in the Super Bowl in San Diego.
And then went back.
Yes, he did.
Good to have him back.
I heard he's back.
Yeah.
Dion Lewis is the running back. This drive starts from the 37-yard line. Brady stepping up. Deep downfield, wide open. Brandon Cooks. And he gets smacked down at the 40-yard line, taking some shot there by Jenkins, who is spinning around, and he is down after a 23-yard gain.
This is this route here coming back out. But as he came out and caught the ball, a little disoriented, turned around, looped back around, and never saw Malcolm Jenkins. And that definitely was a little helmet-to-helmet on that hit. And, of course, Rob Gronkowski.
That's
coming off the concussion.
Puts Brady on the ground.
And
never saw him coming. Injury timeout.
But so far, that matchup is working in the Eagles' favor.
Meanwhile, McDaniels and company have to wonder about Cooks, the number 2 receiver. They have only 4 wideouts dressed for the game. He's one of them. And through the middle, nice gain there. Helmet flying. Dion Lewis picks up about 5. You take a look at Brady to Cooks. He was the deep threat. Picked him up in a trade with New Orleans. More than 20 yards downfield, 16 completions, Brady's most by one teammate in a season.
Yeah, the next closest, to give you some perspective, was Randy Moss in that unbelievable year he had. he did not match that number of Cooks.
Philip Dorsett will take his spot, puts his spot, number 13. Meanwhile, 3rd down and 5 here. And now you got it flipped back here to Danny. And throws, and it's Brady who can't hold it in. So Brady was free, looks over his shoulder, trickery and deceit, 4th down.
Has to be out of the shotgun or this play is not legal. It obviously is. Tom Brady is just going to hand off and then ignore, he's not doing anything, and there he goes. And immediately Chris Long knew he was in trouble, and Brady with the bad hand and no tape. You wonder if maybe that had a little something to do with why he didn't want that pad on that hand. They had that play in the back of their mind.
You do. So it's 4th down and 5. They'll go for it from the 35-yard line. And Brady down the sideline, and that's incomplete. Gronkowski, the intended receiver. Jalen Mills covering on the play, and Philadelphia will take over. 11:53 to the half, 9-3, Philly.
Diet Coke Twisted Mango, because that's why. Can't help it. Hey, still going. Maybe slowing it down. Maybe it's getting sexier. I don't know. Mango does.
A road is a wonderful thing. It makes it easier for you to get from point A to point B. But ultimately, the road is someone else's idea. The road always ends. And this is where some of our best stories begin.
Hello again, ladies. Is your man the kind of man who would climb the height? I'm in a tight head.
Nice pants.
Get off my horse.
Tied up.
Stay tuned for music's biggest moment of the year, the Pepsi Super Bowl 52 halftime show, featuring global superstar Justin Timberlake.
What's really interesting here, Malcolm Butler, hero 3 years ago in the Super Bowl, has not played a defensive snap tonight. The Patriots are telling us a coach's decision. Of course, it was easier to get information out of East Germany before the wall went down than to get injury information from New England. But Butler has not played a defensive snap yet. Eric Rowe has taken his spot. Here's a giant. It's wrapped up 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. This was during America the Beautiful. Butler was very emotional on the sideline. I can't guess what this was about, but he's played on special teams tonight, but not on defense.
Well, it was a beautiful rendition, so you never know, right? But you have to think that maybe he was hurting a bit, and you just wonder when it was that he got the news, or maybe it was just a reaction to it, and maybe it wasn't any of the above.
Final year of his contract looked for a while as if he would be sent to the Saints in the offseason. Didn't happen. Here's a jockey trying to break tackles, which he does with regularity, and turns nothing into a little something up at the 38-yard line. Devin McCourty makes the tackle. 3rd down and 7.
I'll tell you, this Jay Ajayi runs that lead draw about as well as anybody. They end up pulling Lane Johnson around, one of the most athletic guys, and blocking him in there. But so far, this 5-man line of the New England Patriots has been doing pretty well, at least in the last couple of series now, and shutting down that run.
Ajayi averaging 3 yards per tote. 3rd down and 7 now from the 38-yard line. Goals over the middle and wide open, and into Patriot territory goes Zach Ertz, the tight end. In a 19.
Yeah, I think Zach Ertz took a little page out of Gronk's book here. Going to go down the field, a little bit physical, and then make the break. A little bit of a contact, not enough for a flag. I think that was the proper call there, a little juke. And I tell you, if there's one guy that could be an explosive element of this game, Zach Ertz.
His wife, Julie, if you follow soccer, you know she's a key member of that U.S. women's team. From the 43-yard line. Bowles keeps it and then didn't have a grip on it. It looked like Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver, will be 2nd down and 10.
You got to work to overthrow Alshon Jeffrey. And sometimes it's interesting. I wonder if it happened to Nick there that sometimes those running backs don't know if they're getting the ball or not, and they can tend to grab at it a little bit. Maybe it jostled it just a bit before that throw.
It looked like he didn't have a good grip on it, so it's 2nd down and 10. U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis on this Super Bowl Sunday night. 2nd down, 10 from the 43-yard line. Pressure coming, and that pass intended for Jeffrey at the 21-yard line. Great catch. Over the shoulder, along the sideline. Threw it over Stephon Gilmore. That's a gain of 22, 1st down.
Yeah, watch this late adjustment to the ball here. And Al, I'm a little surprised. Chung that time ended up being on Alshon Jeffrey, and we all anticipated that Stephon Gilmore was going to be the matchup. Gilmore all season long has taken the bigger of the receivers, and yet for whatever reason, they're not matching him against Jeffrey in this one. He already has 1 long touchdown, big play there.
2 touchdowns in the championship game against Minnesota. Blunt is in the backfield. Blunt swings to the outside, inside the 10, Blunt to the end zone, behind a Selleck block, his 11th career postseason TD.
Most athletic center in football. Watch him get out in front of this play. Not only gets the initial cutoff, which you have to have on those outside zones, stays with it. 1 more push down the field, gets a Landon Roberts out of the way, and there you go. For LeGarrette Blount, how sweet is this payback? Now they're going to go for 2.
Right after missing the extra point, that makes the difference. Trying to make it 17-3 instead of 16. Eagles go for it a lot. 6 of 9 for 2-point conversions, both most attempts and conversions in the league. So from the 2-yard line, now they send 4 receivers out to the right side. Whole bunch there. Naturally, you go to the left, and that's Jeffrey, and he can't make the catch. That's Eric Rowe able to bust it up. 8:48 to go, first half. Now 15-3, Philadelphia.
That's how we do it on the farm.
Barbecue Pringles? Pizza Pringles.
You made barbecue pizza.
Wow.
Wow. Add a jalapeno. Spicy barbecue pizza. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, you can stack different flavors?
Nobody asked you, Kevin!
Stack flavors, make new ones.
I'm Dave, and my bleep don't stink.
Well, for a boy whose bleep don't stink, Dave turned out to be a very well-adjusted adult.
Good kid. Bleep don't stink.
Well, we first noticed it at his first birthday. Nothing.
I miss Dave.
My friend, her son's a lawyer, but my son, his bleep don't stink, so...
That's better than being a lawyer.
Huh. Mom, what is Febreze?
Hey, did you ever hear from Michelob Ultra? I got it. So I'm training for this big role. It's a Michelob Ultra commercial.
I'm the spokesman. I am Captain Michelob.
I like beer. So sorry.
This is yours. And relax. You gotta be fit. You gotta love Michelob Ultra. It's not like anyone else could do this.
Name?
Pardon?
What is your name?
Chris Pratt?
Over there, bud. Thanks. Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl 52 on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Ram 1500, built to serve. By Budweiser, bring the Clydesdales to your party. Search #ClydesdaleCam. By Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson, in theaters July 13th. And by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Some of the Super Bowl rings. Most NFL championships, quarterback head coach duo Brady and Belichick have won 5. You go back to Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi, and this includes the pre-Super Bowl era when they played for the NFL championship. They had 5. Elliott to kick off. Eagles up by a dozen, and Lewis will down it in the end zone. Visit NFLshop.com after the game for the largest selection of Super Bowl 52 championship gear at the official store of the NFL, NFLshop.com. Well, you recognize J-Lo and A-Rod taking in the action. Mike Trout, the great California Angel, huge Eagle fan, goes to all their games. There he is. You know you're a fan when you're standing up the whole game.
Love it.
From the 25-yard line, the back is Burkhead. Double fake, and then Burkhead makes the catch, and Rex Burkhead gets free. Has a block from Amendola out in front, but getting him from behind is Corey Graham. So they put Burkhead in the game, and right off the bat, he's good for 47.
A lot of pressure around Tom Brady, but just enough distraction. Just as that defense thought they were going to get number 12, he flips it out, and another big play down the field.
29, play action. Brady under pressure, and the wobbly pass is incomplete. You know, it was Burkhead, as we take a look at the replay. It was Burkhead who makes the catch here. He was the guy that collided with Brady 17 days ago, which caused the massive cut. We asked Brady about that the other day. We said, what was your first thought? He said, my season is over.
And Burkhead probably thought his career was over.
Right. Second down and 10 from the 29-yard line. And Amendola, and he'll get stuffed before he can get untracked. Making it third down and 8.
Now, they've worked this play a couple of times, and they whistled it right past the ear hole of Vinnie Curry twice. He might end up intercepting one. You can see Brady didn't even have the laces. That is the second one he has barely missed. They are trying to slow down this pass rush. These hits are starting to pile up just a bit on Tom Brady.
Went 5 wide initially. Now White comes into the backfield. Third and 8. Amendola comes into the backfield, and that pass goes nowhere. So a lot of action, a lot of movement, nothing. 4th and 8.
I mean, these are screen passes that they can't get off. Chris Long comes flying around the end there, and for Josh McDaniels, he has to think, well, I knew these guys were going to be pretty good coming after my quarterback, but I didn't think it'd get to the point where we couldn't run a screen pass. There he was, making the play on the outside against James White, had to throw it away.
Now 45-yard attempt. Wiskowski. This time the snap is good, hold is perfect, and the kick is likewise. Halfway through the second quarter, it's Philadelphia 15, New England 6 in Super Bowl 52. back with the score of 15-6. And we talked about New England, perfect season, one away on opening night. They still wound up with a mark of 13-3. Tom Brady going over things with McDaniels, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Brandon Cooks, the Patriots wide receiver who took that hard hit from Malcolm Jenkins, went back to the locker room. Al, he will not return. They are calling it a head injury. They haven't called it a concussion, just a head injury. Back in the locker room, will not return, Al.
So they're down to 3 wide receivers, Michelle. You know, Chris, we were talking about how New England's season started, but they rebounded. You look at Philadelphia's season. I mean, they were 7-9 last year. They started out the house on fire. They were number 1 in a lot of the power polls until they went to Los Angeles and lost Carson Wentz in December.
Yeah, and to be fair, we saw a couple of good games out of Nick Foles, and then at the end of the season, 2 very poor games. And then it was Doug Peterson and Frank Reich, both of whom had been backup quarterbacks for extended periods of their careers, going back, having that extra week, and taking a good long look at what it was that Nick Foles did in 2013 with Chip Kelly that was so successful. They incorporated some of that, and then by the time the playoffs started, he was rolling.
So Frank Reich, author of 2 of the greatest comebacks in football history, one in college in Maryland, and of course one with the Buffalo Bills against the then Houston Oilers.
A little surprised he didn't get some action in the head coaching derby.
Sooner or later. Gostkowski's kick is taking 2 yards into the end zone. So let's look at the quarterbacks to this point in the game. 143 yards off the hand of Foles and 191 already for Tom Brady.
You know what's the most bizarre stat not shown there? Maybe the biggest play, 1 drop by Tom Brady.
By Brady.
Go figure.
On the pass from Amendola. Brian Hoyer, his backup quarterback, going over the tablet with him. So here is Foles. Almost quit after he was released by the Rams. Went on a camping trip with his brother-in-law and said when he was going to come back, there was only one guy he was going to play for, Andy Reid. And Reid brought him to Kansas City last year and backed up Alex Smith. From the 25-yard line. And you got movement. Hurts. Second time for him.
Offense number 86, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, he took him from the 2-yard line to the 7-yard line on the other false start.
Yeah, that one took probably 4 points off the board there with that one. But believe me, Zach Ertz and these inside receivers, I keep thinking this is going to be an inside game throwing the ball. The other one, Nelson Aguilar, inside as well.
First and 15, Clement picks up 1. Clement getting an opportunity to play a lot this season when they lost Darren Sproles to a season-ending injury in week 3. Undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin has done a great job.
Well, I don't know how many times we've done this with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but James Harrison, you want somebody to set the edge on your defense, and of course that's the very fundamental part of Bill Belichick's defenses. Who better than that guy? He is a hammer. See him lift weights sometime.
Second and 14. Harrison, 39 years old, and says he's still playing next year. Foles gets it away. Caught. It's Torrey Smith. Spins his way up to the 31-yard line. Tackle there by Gilmore. It makes it 3rd down and 3.
I love what Nick Foles is doing. Sees the blitz, throw it right behind it. If you see the blitz coming, just throw it right over his head. There he is. Nice pickup. Nick Foles is seeing the field.
Third down call is 4. 6 minutes to go in the opening half. Ajayi on an inside handoff. Look at him go. Jay Ajayi to the 40-yard line. Knee goes down there. tons of yardage. He and Blunt both massive amounts of yardage after contact. Case in point there.
3rd and 4. How many times do you see? Here's Wisniewski right here, but also on the outside we had Nelson Aguilar with a great block. But how many times, Al, have we seen this year Doug Peterson on 3rd and 4? It's a pass down for everybody in the league. Pick up big plays running the football like he just did.
He's got those 2 backs. From the 44 on 1st down. Foles going deep down the sideline. And it is shuttled and intercepted by Harmon at the 3-yard line. Jeffrey couldn't handle it. And New England gets the takeaway on a deflection into the arms of Harmon. First turnover of the game. He couldn't one-hand it. New England has the ball.
You are an important person, a unique creature. There has never been anyone just like you, and never will be. The power to do anything you can imagine is within you when you discover your real self. Make it.
If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know the theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace. Soul generated by love.
Two college roommates from South Carolina.